What's up guys, it's your girl Sabby. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so that you guys don't miss any of my videos when I post on Mondays at 11 a.m. unless I'm slacking. So the last few weeks I've been trying to gauge where you guys are at, what type of videos you guys would prefer to see, which is why I've been posting a lot of polls on my Instagram stories to see if you prefer, workout videos or meal prep ideas, beauty hauls, this, that, the other. So this week, the most requested video was a meal prep video. So I just figured I'd keep it simple. I would show you one of my favorite meals to make. It's actually something I kind of came up with one day. I don't know how, but yeah, I did. It's actually pretty freaking good. So it's something that's super easy to cook also. It's got a lot of flavor to it, but it is a very simple meal, so it's not gonna be very time consuming. I know a lot of people tend to have issues with meal prepping because they can't find the time to grocery shop and then cook it and yada yada, but it is crucial. It's very important. When I say that dieting is 80% and working out is 20%, just like all other athletes would mention, it is the truth. So I'm gonna share with you just one of my favorite meals to cook, and we're just gonna jump into it. So let's go. Okay, so just a heads up, I kind of prepared everything, or at least set up my station prior to recording the video, obviously, so I was one step ahead of the game. I do have the water boiling for my rice. I typically have been eating white rice, the Canilla brand, lately because I've been trying to up my calories and gain some weight. But I figured this week, the meal plan that I came up with, it still was able to maintain the calories that I'm trying to hit, and with implementing brown rice back into my diet. So this week I decided to do brown rice again. This is a really good alternative for white rice because white rice is obviously bleached. This one's a little bit more of a healthier option. I decided to try a new brand called Good and Gather. It's from Target. It just said instant, so I was like, this should be simple. Let's see how it goes. Not really on like a time crunch, but I do try to condense the amount of time I spend meal prepping because it can get exhausting. I know that's a lot of people's responses to why they don't meal prep is because it's so time consuming, but at the end of the day, it is going to pay off. And I promise, if you can set aside literally an hour for groceries and maybe 2 to 3 hours for cooking, one day out of the week, you'll have meals for 4 to 5, maybe even 6 days out of the week, depending on what you cook. So it is beneficial. I know it takes a lot out of that single day. Just space it out if you have to, get groceries on a Monday and then meal prep on a Tuesday. However it works best for you. I will say that this recipe is pretty friendly in terms of different diets. It is vegetarian because I actually don't put any meat in it. Don't know if you guys have heard, I'm pretty sure you have, of chickpeas or garbanzo beans. That's gonna be the main source of protein in this dish instead of using meat. So I'm using garbanzo beans for the protein. I've got vegetable broth instead of using like a chicken or a beef broth. So that's friendly for those of you who are vegetarians, pescatarians. It's not 100% vegan, I wouldn't say. I don't know exactly, like I'd have to look into it and look at all the ingredients and see. It might be, I really don't think I have anything in there that is animal product, but I don't wanna say that and then it is not vegan. But point is, if you guys wanted to add meat to this, you're obviously more than welcome to. It's your meal plan. You could probably do maybe some like ground beef or lean ground turkey if you're trying to stay a little bit more on the leaner side of things. And then of course I did brown rice. You can do, if you want to substitute it and do maybe lettuce, maybe like a lettuce chickpea stew, or maybe add just a little bit more vegetable broth so it's a little bit more soupy as opposed to kind of a topping for the rice. But enough babbling, I'm going to get the rice started and then we'll get to cooking and making the stew part of it. All right, so chickpea stew, the main ingredients in it are obviously the chickpea garbanzo beans. I like to chop up some red bell pepper. I also throw in garlic. This makes me cringe. I don't have fresh garlic. And I told myself to add it to my list as I was walking out the house and then I still forgot. So luckily I had like a little jar of like pre-chopped garlic. It's just not the same. So if you're making this recipe, don't pull a Sabrina and get fresh garlic. I just feel like that makes all the difference in the world. But at least I have this and it's not just garlic seasoning. I don't understand what it is about recording YouTube videos. Every time I do it, it makes me look like I can't cook. I'm just not cut out for this life, I swear. Anyways, I throw in some tomato paste. There's vegetable broth in it as well. I'm actually gonna be chopping up some fresh parsley and throwing that in. I do add a couple of different seasonings, which I have off to the side. So as I'm doing all of that, I'll obviously show you guys so you can see kind of like the portions. We're gonna rinse this red bell pepper, chop that up. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse the parsley, chop that as well, and then we'll be back. All right, so the red bell pepper, I like to kind of just chop up, put them into like little bitty squares, obviously so I can kind of get some chunks of it in the stew itself. The parsley is kind of like the opposite. I like to chop that pretty fine just so it adds flavor to it, but I'm not getting chunks of parsley in the stew as I take a bite. Okay, so I'm no like professional chef or anything, but when I chop the herbs, I kind of like roll them. It's kind of funny. Before I chop them, because then it kind of keeps them packed in together and it's easier to chop. That makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm lying. Works for me. So first things first, throw in your 2 cans of garbanzo beans or chickpeas, whatever. So I drained them for the most part. Like I poured out all of the juice. I just didn't like compact them and squeeze out the juice. So majority of it is out though. And then go ahead and do, if you did fresh garlic, which you better have, 2 cloves of it. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this. I like a lot of garlic. I quit. Literally, I quit. Sabrina's not a chef, obviously. All right, and then I'm gonna add the tomato paste. So it's just 1 literally baby can of the tomato paste. And this just kind of gives it like a little bit more, like not liquid, but like it kind of like pulls everything together just like the vegetable broth does, so that it's not just like chunky. This is kind of what makes it more of like a stew. Okay, that's good. And then we'll pour in. So I have the chopped parsley, which is probably about like a 1/4 cup, and then a whole medium or large red bell pepper chopped. So I'm just gonna pour out that in. Okay. And lastly, I typically add, like I eyeball a lot of things. So when I go to write the recipes down, it's pretty bad because I have to just guess what I put in. The vegetable broth is really, again, to kind of bring it all together. So I kind of eyeball it and do maybe like a 1/2 cup to a cup, sometimes maybe more. Once I mix everything together, then as it starts to cook, I will add more if I need to. You can always add more, but you can't take away. So remember that. Maybe I am a chef. All right, and then I'm just gonna add a little bit of sea salt. Again, eyeballing everything. Some fresh cracked pepper. A little bit of garlic salt. Some onion powder. I would usually use onion flakes, but clearly I don't know how to prepare myself properly, so onion powder it is. And then I like to add a little bit of cayenne pepper so it gives it like a little bit of a kick. I like the spice. If you don't like a kick to it, obviously you don't have to do cayenne pepper. You can add more or less, like I mentioned. I'm just gonna kind of mix this together a little bit. Look at this beauty. I can't wait to eat this. Definitely one of my favorites. So the rice is done now, actually. Let's go ahead and finish that off. Okay, so I went ahead and rinsed off the cilantro and then the limes. Actually, I have to rinse those. I typically do like a 1-to-2 ratio with lime and rice. So if I'm doing 2 cups of rice, then I'll do like 1 whole lime. Just depends, but since this one wasn't really like cups of it, I mean, yeah, I guess it kind of was. 6 servings, so I would typically do 3 limes, but these limes are thick, so we're only gonna need 2. This is my recipe. You guys can alter it however you wish. But okay, so that's good. Rinse these guys. Just gonna roll them out. I don't know. I feel like everybody knows this. If you roll a lime, like it kind of softens it up to where it's not as tense and you can get more juice. Let me chop these in half. I don't even know if these are gonna fit in the little lime squeezer because they're so thick. All of us, 2020, baby. All right, and then I'm gonna get a bowl so I can throw everything together. All right, so what did I do? Do you guys wanna see the chickpea stew? I know you do. So let's go ahead and get this rice in here. Cool. And then I'm the type of person where I kind of clean as I go because it just irks me not to. But I'm gonna try not to so that, you know, this video isn't 19 hours long. Throw in the cilantro. Look at these things. They're thick. Like it doesn't even fit. Honey, you're gonna have to jump in this lime squeezer like I jump in my jeans. Ooh, and I'm not even that thick. Okay, this is gonna get in my eye. Let's just try this. Honestly, I might just need one full lime.
Let's try it with just one full one and see how it is.
So this week I'm only meal prepping for like 4 days out, 4 or 5. No, like 4, because I will be out of town today and tomorrow. But I obviously want good food to come back to afterwards, so I stick to my clean eating. This is the ultimate test. If it doesn't taste good, I'm completely gonna lie and act like it does so that I don't look crazy for making this video. Honestly, cilantro and lime are on point. The rice at first kind of had like a, ooh, that's different taste. But overall, like it's really good. This is my food, so judge me if you will. Double dipping, whatever. Double scooping. Yeah. That's good. Oh. Now I'm gonna get my containers so I can kind of put them in separate ones and be set for the week so I can just grab and go. I just took the chickpea stew off of the stove, so I kind of just let it simmer for maybe about 10 minutes or so, enough to get the garbanzo beans to where they're a little bit softer, and then obviously so all the flavors can kind of mix together and blend really well. Blend really well. I love making fun of myself. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and try to portion this out, the lime rice, and then add the chickpea stew. I have meal prep containers that are super beneficial. For a meal like this, honestly, I could just put the rice and then the chickpea stew on top. For other meals, obviously, or even like snacks, if I wanna do maybe like hard-boiled eggs on this side, and then put like cheese and like pretzel chips and grape tomatoes, I can kind of do that to where it's separated. So definitely recommend getting some meal prep containers because it'll make your life easier in terms of prepping certain meals. Like when I have maybe a dish that has a protein, a carb, and a vegetable that I kind of want to keep separate. But let me grab a spoon and we'll dish it out. Let me grab the stew now. Look at this beautiful little baby. Whew, that was still hot. Honestly, I think I'm gonna let it cook for just a little bit longer because the garbanzo beans are still a little bit firm. Honestly, that is pretty much it. Once the stew finishes and the garbanzo beans are a little bit more tender to my liking, I'm just going to add the chickpea stew to my meal prep containers and then seal them up and put them in the fridge. So this makes it so convenient for me to just go to the fridge, grab it, whether I hit the gym first and then come home and just pull it out of the fridge and throw it in the microwave, or if I am on my way to work and I bring it with me and I leave it in the fridge until I decide to eat. It's just so convenient to have the meal prep ready. It definitely keeps me on my clean eating or whatever diet that I'm trying to maintain, whether it's gaining weight, losing weight, just eating proper in general. It definitely keeps me on track. So I would recommend meal prepping if you're someone who's trying to get into the fitness lifestyle, whether it's just to kind of improve your health or you are trying to attain more complex goals. If you guys want other suggestions, comment down below on this video and definitely give this video a thumbs up. If you guys want me to put out some more recipes, some healthy snack ideas, I know that's something that is pretty tricky with clean eating. I used to struggle with it myself, and now I've got a pretty good idea of some good snacks. But other than that, when the chickpea stew is done, I'll go ahead and add it in and show you the finished product. And then I like to top off my chickpea stew with an avocado. Obviously, I don't actually cut that or prep it until I am ready to eat my food. So if I'm at home, I'll cut it up and put it right on top after I microwave it. If I'm at work, I just bring the avocado with me and then I'll end up cutting it at work right before I eat it, just so it stays fresh as long as it can. And then I'll sprinkle a little bit of sea salt, add a little bit of lime to it, and maybe even throw on a little bit of tahini seasoning. But this is the final product. I'll go ahead and show you like a bird's eye view of it. It's not gonna look as pretty in its container, but I promise you the flavor is there. It is spot on, it's delicious, it's really easy. I know this video may end up being pretty long. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and it obviously was a good recipe. Let me know in the comments down below if you end up trying it out yourself, and if you end up liking it, let me know if there's anything you would change. And then obviously like this video if you enjoyed watching it and you want me to come out with more meal prep videos. It can be meal prep, it can be snack suggestions, it could be how to source your protein. Whatever you want, let me know. Comment down below, like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram. I'll put my tag in the description box below. And until next time, stay hustling and stay humble.